Here we are. Anybody that watching this afterwards, it's going to be boring. Just figured I'd let you know. Much better to come on live and hang out. I'm going to set up my other phone here. That way I can see what you guys are saying. I know I'm early tonight. 5:27 here. I know I'm early tonight. Yeah. There we go. So I'll wait for a few people to get here. We have a couple interesting things to do. So let's, I guess we'll get to it. 4 people here. Hey, Brandon. I got goodies. Got a couple of deliveries. So figured I'd open this with you guys. Hey, William. Yeah, got some goodies here. 5 people. So check this out. So this is the eBay right angle rotary tool. And just looking at it, it's a little big. Physically, will it even fit? I guess it'll fit inside of a 372, but just barely. No way it would it would work in a 346 XP. I guess I can't blow on it and make it work. All right. So, what the devil kind of connector is that? Hey, Kevin. Hey, Nikki. So this is like 55 bucks on eBay. This is pretty cheap. But I'm already looking at it going, you know, we need other stuff to get this working. Good. A whole bunch of stuff here in Chinese that I can't possibly hope to understand. Be sure to use genuine UHT replacement parts. Well, who's UHT? Dismantle the tool for overhauling and cleaning periodically. 500 hours of operation once every 6 months. Okay. Well, that's fine, but how am I supposed to get air? You guys recognize this connection? Because I don't. Yeah, it's air driven, but one of the things, it doesn't have a speed control, so I need a foot pedal. 9 people here. Hey, guys. We don't play with kid saws. Yeah, well. Still, you gotta be able to, anyway, whatever. So if you want to see old dental equipment, this is for a handpiece. I don't think this has been used in, well, let's put it like this, a long time, so. Okay. This flap comes off. So this is actually a pneumatic foot pedal. Speed control. Isn't that cool? So I do have one. It's just a matter of getting her hooked up. I won't need a regulator because my compressor is definitely not powerful enough to keep up with this for any amount of time. But that flap is right there. Okay. These are for hand pieces. Choose on here. This goes to the air supply. I gotta imagine that that's probably what chooses the handpiece. In for one, out for the other, something like that. I don't know. But this effectively is rubber hose. Just got to connect one to the other. And then I somehow have to connect this to my air. Yeah, this is going to be kind of a pain in the neck. Brandon, you had a hard day at work, or I had a hard day at work? If you had a hard day, I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, I went to pick up a whole pile of tool sleeve blanks today. I got like 60 of them. Yeah, today was not the best, but that's okay. In some days, some ways it wasn't too bad. Definitely in some ways it was not too bad. Think. I'm not even sure if that goes in there like that. There we go. By a gazillion dollars. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it's going to work. I just don't know. How do I get that into here? I don't know. Or maybe I do something even simpler and just pull the plap out of here and then figure out how to get that into... Yeah, maybe that'll be simpler. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, well, I got a lot of air fittings here, but I don't think any of these are really going to help us. This is one of those like universal fittings, but nope. Won't fit. Let's take this apart and see if I can take it apart. Oh, what are the odds? No. No good. Because it looks like they gave me a fitting here that just doesn't made up with anything I've ever seen. How do I retrofit this? I just don't know. Ooh. Maybe. I have to sacrifice the hose. And or tap this for whatever that size is. Hey, Johnny. Multi-chainsaw. Can you zoom in on the ends? Yeah, Ken, here. So this, it's a very, this is like a 1/4 inch barb. This is small. It's smaller than the 1/4-inch barb. And this end makes no sense at all. Let's compare that to a regular M style air fitting or whatever that is. Hey, Casey. Because I might just be able to cut this off and then barb it like that. Or this is a 1/4-inch NPT with a 1/4-inch barb. I could probably just stick that in there. And then I've got it to 1/4-inch. Heat gun and push on the barb, yeah. So what do you think? Should I cut that off and just push it on the barb? That would probably make more sense, wouldn't it? Or rather, most sense. Because this connection makes no sense here. None. Yeah, Larry, I got... This is just a cheap right angle thing off of eBay. It's like 55 bucks shipped. I just wanted to see what it was and what it could do, you know? All right, here we go. Yeah, you don't even need to heat that. That's never going to come flying out. Okay. So, now that that's barbed, I think what I can do is I can actually, if I barb this end, I pull that off, this end I can plug directly into my compressor. If I pull that out, and then I just got to remember to get more of those fittings. I have something to pressure test with. Okay, so we're gonna, this is now barbed. That's junk. Let's pull this out of here. Oh, there goes my pressure test setup. Donald Abbott. Hey, Matthew, where can I buy the crank tool? Donald, you just email me. Sorry, I messed up. And then what we do is we just do this. Do I do this or do I do the other connection? Probably this. Just to remind everybody, this is not a cooking show. I do not have this pre-planned. I do not have anything pre-done at this point. I really don't know what I'm going to find here. Brian, hello, Matt. Hello, Brian. How are you? Welcome. We're just messing around. 17 people watching me mess around. What I've got here is this $55 right angle porting tool, or it's a right angle grinder. It really doesn't look like it is small enough to fit in the smaller chainsaws, but it might work for, if it gives me a little bit more longevity than the dental ones, then that's awesome. It's definitely a bit big, Casey. Okay, so this needs to go in here, and that's going to be tight. So now I most definitely have, and that's, I'm just going to cut that off. Live cast pressure and vac test, unique straight gas 340. Okay. If it's straight gas, you know, then you know exactly what's up. The bearings, the seals are probably still good. I love saws like that. You just need to reseal the crankcase area. You Yeah, it looks like this would go, but the outer sheathing here is messing it up. Mini vac adapter, yes. Yeah, that was my mini vac adapter. Oh well. This is old. This is old stuff. Probably easier just to go on eBay and buy a plap rather than to modify this like I'm doing. Need enough here pulled back so that I can expose the rubber to get it on there, you know. which is over the third barb. There you have it. Now I gotta go get my. Wait a minute. I missed something. Okay. Let me see if I can get this plugged in with the air. If I can, Johnny Vance, hey. Hey, David. Johnny Vance, one of the guys gave me a Steeler 2.6, needs a new top end. Only gas, no mix. Nothing about the saw. Good saw. Johnny, they can run really well. That's a professional steel model. It's old school, but certainly can run well. That's a 50 somewhere around 50 cc. Be right back. Let me get my hose here. More fun, apparently. Put this together. It was $12.99 at Tractor Supply. What am I supposed to do, guys? $12.99 for a hybrid air hose, 50 feet. I don't even know if I have. Oh, come on. Yeah, I do. Okay. One of those. And this one will be fine. But I need a coupling, which I have here. Good. Or I can just use that one. I can use this one. Maybe I'll use that one. I'll have to use coupling. I have to run this from the other side of the basement, which is where the compressor is. These drive me nuts. Come on. Then what you do is you get frustrated and you take your knife and then you cut your hose. It's not good. And like AVE says, time! Okay. Right. Need a little tape, which I do happen to have. Buy another hose for $12.99? Yeah, I know. I forget when I got it, probably last year. One end. Okay, there's one. The other. Guess we're going to find out soon enough if this thing's any good. Fixing a smog pump, David. I remember doing one of those. Turns out the old one was fine. It was I had a vacuum hose that was in the wrong spot. It was my fault. Would it unravel? All right. And the question will be, will this thing... Seems like the flap is leaking. Seems like there's a leak in the pipe. What should I do? Take it apart? Did you find that a sales site was someone selling it? The dental unit was, Dad had that just from forever and a day ago. This came from eBay. Here, let's throw this stuff away here. Put it, don't think I need that. And the guy that had this was actually a USA seller. Oh yeah, no kidding. The rework is kind of a pain. No kidding. But really, I mean, if you had a plap, if you went and bought just this from eBay, you could probably do this with just barbs so far. And this, right, you know, what you really need to know is what does this connect to, and the answer is, I think this is a 1/4 inch barb. 1/4 inch. The outer diameter of the barb is 1/4 inch. So once you have that, it should be good. Okay. I'm tempted to take the flap apart to check and see if something's stuck or leaking or whatever. Certainly looks like somebody's been into this before, and probably it was a forever and a day ago type of thing. At least these are not hard to get out. Do it for right. Was it for the money and for the fun? Yes. For the glory, for the money, and for the fun. This time mostly for the money. You mean that? Yeah, there's definitely more available, Larry. You can get more of these. They're selling them all over the place. But let me evaluate it first before anybody goes and buys the darn thing. So I mean, certainly, it looks to me like the rework here is considerable. You know. And per usual, this whole thing's going to go boing. Yep. Yeah, see, this is all corroded in here. But this turns. I don't know what. That's probably adjusting the high limit. Well, let's use the universal solution here. Pretty much everything. Cletus Snow. Yeah. You mean that guy? Well, it looks like something just fell out. That's not good. This. Well, whatever that is just rotted all away. Probably some type of a rubber diaphragm. Gone now. I wonder if a bicycle tube will work. Well, let's see if we can undo this. Why not? We're already playing around with it. We're knee deep in it now. I'm live. Who is it? Who is it?
Dave's on the phone.
Tell him I'm live. I will talk to him later. Is it just me, or do all my projects go this way? Oh. I just have no idea what was in there. Probably a thick O-ring of some kind. I don't know, guys. I just don't know. So was it letting air through? It was probably letting air through. I can't tell which is which here. Because if I could figure it out, I could probably put like a piece of, literally like bicycle tube in there, possibly, and have it work fine. Or maybe not even. Maybe I can just reassemble this. I don't know. Quit. I know. This is a plunger. This. Interesting. Pushes down on that. Okay, hang on. I'm kind of interested. I'm just interested to see whether or not this is going to produce anything. Put this back together and just see what's going on. There may have been an O-ring here. I don't know. Just don't know. So that part goes in there somehow, some way. this spring goes on there. No idea what this screw is for. It doesn't really look like it's for anything. Might be a limiter screw of some kind. Yeah, I bet that seats against an O-ring. Maybe it'll work without. I don't know. Put that limiter screw back in there. Probably put these two center ones in first. That makes sense. And there's an O-ring there too. It's a curious device, really is. Very simple, if you ask me. Even if I can get it to leak less than it was, I think that'll be a win. Yeah, I did see the video. I did see Walt's video with Bob. You know, those guys are busy. Good for them. When you have a good business and a good business model, that's awesome. But I think the one of the things you can say about it is it's called golden handcuffs, because you are stuck with it. It's wonderful, but you are stuck. I know I should have tested this before I put this on, right? Whatever. Let's see. Does it leak less? Not really. Okay. It's closer. So let's, if we're going full bore here, let's attach it. Why not, right? This hose is not exactly intended to go on 1/4-inch barb, but it ran good yesterday. Yeah. Okay, well, I pulled that out. I'm just going to cut this anyway, I think. This is like 1/8 inch hose, and I don't think I have any adapters to go to 1/4 inch. So, literally just going to have to shove it on. A heat gun for Christmas. Thank you. Aha! There it is. It's on. Will it hold pressure? I don't know. Let's see. Where'd the flap go? I have it right there. Okay. The moment of truth. Where's it coming out of? Okay, wait a minute. Maybe I have this adjusted. Right, if it's wasting air, that means it's slowing it down. Nothing. It went. I heard it. Guess it goes. It popped, yeah. I probably don't have very much in the way of air left in the tank. Let me go check and see how much pressure. Not much. I'm wrong, it's 70 pounds. I get 70 pounds of pressure, so it should run it. Well, it runs. Guess I can wait till the thing goes back up above 80 pounds. It says 90 on here. My compressor, I have it set just above 80. But it doesn't feel like there's any power to it. Well, let's see. Out of here. It might be all this hose. I mean, all the tiny hose and kinks and everything like that. I mean, it could be that. You know. There's a lot of hose here, and it's all small, so I think what is it, AVE did one of those side-by-sides with the air tools, and actually, depending on which tool got a little bit more air, was more powerful. So I think the foot control is working fine. I mean, that's plenty of air to drive a dental handpiece, but maybe not this. So it may simply be that the air is no good. It's just not enough. So I'll just simply say, oh well on that. We tried, but what we do know now is that you will probably need more air for this than I have, and preferably bigger hose. It's 90 psi, Larry. But here, I don't think the pressure is the problem. I think because of the smaller hose, I think it's volume. Leaking like a Chinese oil tank. Well, I had to try just getting it working tonight just to see, you know, because I have this, and this has been sitting for 40 years doing nothing. I'll bet the last time this was used might have been my dad in dental school or something like that. So there was really no point in not trying, you know. So let's put that away. I'm going to, I think, recapture this and recapture this. And put this away. And I do have a 394 parts saw to play with tonight. So I do want to get to that because that will be much cooler than this. Although this, I mean, I think this could indeed be useful. I mean, let's see, what burrs go in here? Are these the bigger ones? These came with it. Just want to see. Does it take these bigger ones? No. The arbor here for 2.35 millimeter. No. Wait a minute. That one goes in. Okay, it is 3mm. I think this is like a 3mm shaft. Okay. Yeah, Mike, you're right. CFM, that's right. And Mike Sim, I haven't seen you on the channel before. Welcome. We just hang out here mainly, just so you know. So now what am I going to do with this darn thing? I don't know. Throw it over here on my bench with everything else. Yep, I definitely think it's a CFM issue, and all this small cord here is just too much. It just can't push enough air to drive it so that there's adequate power. That's what I'm seeing anyway. Oh well. Let's get out that 394 and see what's what, huh? So yeah, the right angle handpiece came with all these diamonds. Some were already bent in shipping probably. And these, who knows if they're any good or not. As far as I'm concerned, all these were free, so take that as you like. I will take this apart later. And I'll leave the barb on that thing and get more of those barb fittings. Okay. Just going to put some of this away, and then we can pull the 394 out of the box. So for those of you that came here for a 394, we will give you a 394. At least I think that's what's in the box. Pretty sure. This is the one that on Thanksgiving Day I bought it. Somebody put it on for a buy it now, and it was a mistake. Specific site on eBay for that right angle? No, Larry. What I searched for was, I think it's like die grinder, right angle, and you search for a seller that's here in North America, because you can search for that. Hey, it says 394 on top here. That's good. Anybody knows how to get into this box, it'd be good. I don't. Brandon, have a good night. Oh, it's dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Oh. Oil and dirty. How did they get away with this? Yuck. I'm going to throw this in the fireplace immediately. Yeah. These are the kind of saws that I like. I was kind of looking at this. I'm like, what in the world did they do? What did they do? It looks like the air filter that was on here tore. So let's take a good look at this all around and see what we can see right off. Right off, I'm looking at the starter. There's one little broken fin there, but it's solid. The starter itself, the starter cover here is pretty solid. One little broken thing. We can clean this up. This will look pretty good. The tank, I think, is going to be pretty solid too. Unless this crack is significant, but I don't think so. Pretty sure this tank is going to be solid. Oh, wait a minute. I see. Is that JB Weld? Or is that just stain? Just stain, maybe. Notice a few other things. So one thing that I'm looking at, I'm looking for rash around here. Chain rash. No chain rash. Hardly any. So this will clean up really nice, actually. Let's start taking some stuff off. A little disoriented here. Where's my... Here it is. Good. Ridden hard, put away wet. Yeah, well, what I'm always amazed there are saws that end up in this state. And I have a phone call coming in, guys. I'll be back. Hang on a second. Hello? Who's this? How are you? All right, forgive me, guys. I'm sorry. That was a patient. Good patient that I had to leave behind in Norwalk, and now they're moving. So, good for them. That's wonderful. It's those type of phone calls that are the hardest. Well, now I know why. Great. Well, getting this... Oh, there we go. Maybe I can grab it. So if I can lift this, bring this down a bit. There is a square aluminum piece that actually, what would you call that? Ferrule? A knurl? I don't know. But it's grabbed by the tank. Okay. That's not working. One side's down, I don't know. I'll try to show you guys here in a minute. Hang on. Try to take this darn piece off. Wow, that's really annoying. Somebody cross-threaded it in there. Messed me up. It is personal, after all. You guys know that. There's a square. It's a square aluminum insert, and I may indeed have to cut the head off this darn bolt to get this out. Is there? There's no limiter screw there. Is there a limiter screw here? Yes, there is a limiter screw here. Oh, I can pull it right out. By the way, these limiter screws are gold. Don't lose them. They are not cheap to buy. So maybe now I can pull it down even further. Or better yet, just pull it off if I undo those two. Maybe. One. Two. All kinds of other stuff. I mean, there's cobwebs in here and everything. See. Aha. I'll show you. Can you guys see in here? Right in here, there's a square aluminum piece. I don't know if you can see it. Here too. Sorry, I have not looked at the comments here in a couple of minutes, so hang on a second. Yeah, finally. I may have to melt this in here like in a bed of JB Weld or something like that in order to have this be reasonable at the end. Okay, how good of shape is this handle? Not the best. All right. What a mess. All right, hang on, let me look and see what comments here. Hey, Cole. Total cowboy. $68. Yeah, that's not, if it's in the, if you have a USA seller, $68 is it. Chris Patterson, Cole, Total Cowboy. Chris, you talking to me? What am I cowboying? I suppose. I mean, you know, I'm fine with that, but just wondering. What is my view on impacts? I really like an impact for pulling the saw apart, and I do use it to put the saw together, but I'm not trying to hammer on it with the impact. I'll put a bolt down with the impact, but I'm not trying to impact it on. That's not the idea. I think we can throw that out. These are gold. Do not throw these away. You found it on Amazon? Okay. I just wonder how a saw ever gets to a state like this. I just cannot imagine. I've seen it plenty. I mean, I've seen it happen all the time. This actually has all 4 cover screws in here. Amazing. Now, this is not an impact. This is just a torque-sensitive Bosch tool. Let's see what's under door number 1. A stink bug. Check that out. We got a stink bug. Ah, crap. I was kind of hoping for a complete full flywheel. They said this doesn't turn over, but she turns over. The flywheels are, the pawls are kind of froze. But these aren't too worn out. So this, yeah, pull that apart, clean it, put a new handle on it. That'll work fine. Kind of hoping for a good flywheel though. That's okay. If you lose a fin on a flywheel, what I do is I'll just take the opposing fin and break it off too. I don't seem to have any trouble like that, but the thing with the 394s is you can't find these flywheels. You just can't find them. Yeah, it's a 394. Good parts, saw. Yeah, good parts. Another thing that always seems to be missing on these is the rubber bumper here. This rubber bumper happens to be here, but this rubber bumper is always busted off. And usually the case is busted. Nice to see that the case is not busted there. So this is actually a fine case, I think. But I think there's a problem with the wire. Let's see, is this... Yeah, this is good. Just needs to be cleaned up. It's amazing how saws get like this. Amazing. Another thing that somehow gets loose and disappears. These rubber pieces you cannot find. I may change this out because this is a little wallowed. But there should be a spot for a screw here. And that is wallowed out like crazy. That was rattling for a long time. So the screw that goes in here is actually very specific, and it's a round head and it's kind of flat. It's got to fit underneath the flywheel. If you put a regular Allen on there, it doesn't work. So, but that is wallered. I may have to put an insert on that. Who knows? Start taking stuff off. So yeah, they said this was froze. She ain't froze. That is not froze. Not froze. Spit, polish, put her back together. I'm just kidding. This saw is getting split. Possibly tonight. I think we're going to split this tonight, and then maybe we'll call it a night. Other nice things to see on here. This blue throttle piece here, the idle adjuster, is still here. That's cool. This piece, still here. Although I think this is actually a 395. No, it's not. That is 394. It's just got a shorter stub here. Most of the time, this is a little bit longer. Of course, I just gave my silly ultrasonic back to my buddy, so... This is the wrong thing for the head, but I'm just using the small one to kind of clean out the heads a little bit. In hopes that I don't strip one. Which one do I need? This guy. So these are actually 1/4-20s with a 3/16 inch head. Why am I doing this? I don't know. Let's... These are long screws on the intake. So shorter ones for the AV mounts, longer ones for the air horn. And these air horns, by the way, also gold. Cannot get them. You can get them for $3.95, but not for $3.94. And there is a difference. M5 versus M4 bolts. Throttle rod. I think you can still get these. Or, sorry, choke rods. I think you can still get them. Tiny little screw holding the, what is this? It's a ground screw holding the switch on, but the switch is basically obliterated. nothing left of the switch. Except for the ground strap. That's all that's left of the on-off switch. I think we're just going to get a new wire. Okay. Gas line. I have a better idea. I'm just going to cut it. Fuel line is cut. Now we can take the intake screws, the air horn screws out. These are like 70 millimeters long. They are a pain. This is easier. Oh, incidentally, so there's a hole right here that allows you to put a 4 millimeter Allen straight through, but this is so loosey-goosey that the plastic basically nearly closes the hole. So done. What year saw? 1997. But it doesn't have the guard in the front. Usually 97 saws do. There's a new old stock on the bay for 21 bucks. Flywheel where? For $3.94? Hang on. I'm going to look that right now. I'm looking for the $3.94 flywheel. I don't see it. New old stock on the bay for 21. I think the starter cord or the kill wire was jammed. I think that's what jammed it up. Somehow the kill wire got stuck in here, and that's what ultimately probably somebody said, "Oh, it's locked," but that ain't locked. $10 says that still has compression. AYP 5300 39242. That's for a trimmer. Not for a 394. Yeah, don't worry. This saw was really ridden hard. For sure. Somebody got their use out of this. And then instead of fixing it when something got loose or whatever, they just kept running it. Yeah, Kenneth, I mean, these flywheels are nearly impossible to get. Just nearly impossible. And getting this off is not going to be super fun. I'm actually going to take the pawls off. They're jammed anyway, so I might as well remove them. Eventually you start questioning. You're like, wait a minute, am I going the right direction here? 394. Yeah, Kenneth, what saw going to be? Can't find a bearing. Yeah, what saws, Kenneth, are you having trouble finding bearings for? $2,300. Is there any bearing like in the Husky bearings or whatever that actually fit? Have you dimensioned it? Actually, there is a washer under here, which I'm going to remove for now. Give me a little more space. See, personally, I think these bigger saws are easier to work on than the little ones. There's just more space, you know? And so far, I think there's a higher likelihood of getting these to run right more than little saws. But that's, you know, just me. Did I mention these are a pain in the neck to get off? Now this is definitely one of the spots where ultrasonic helps. Having the ultrasonic cleaner really helps on flywheels. Really does a nice job. Maybe nothing else, but the flywheels does a nice job. Okay. Right, we took this off. Forgot about that. WJ39. That's what I want to see. Nice. Or am I missing something here? Oh, somebody put the wrong fuel line on here. That's nice. Jerks. Is that throttle cable okay? That throttle cable is actually all right. Ding dongs with this Tygon. Oh, yuck. Okay, so here you can see what's up here. I think somebody just cross-threaded that. I'll make sure to tap that, and then I gotta melt something into here to make sure this holds and it doesn't spin. Yeah, this is disgusting here. The whole thing is gross. But I think the tank is going to be pretty solid, which is great because it'll go on that other saw just fine. The one thing I might not have is the spring that goes under this latch here. All right, let's do... I guess we can pull the head next. Who's nervous? Actually, I want to put these screws back here. That way I don't lose them, and they're the screws for the ignition coil. Just gonna put them in a few threads here. And the Woodruff key is still here. That's not going anywhere. Okay. Nice. Perfect. There's two. Is that it? Is that four? That's four. Dry, stuck rings, but there are still machine marks on that piston. Is it like a nest in here, an insect nest? Mud daubers, exhaust. I think that's cooked. Well, too bad I don't have the ultrasonic right now. But that will clean up just fine. Yeah, no cracks on the block. Yeah, a little literally just got to polish the piston a bit, and that would be completely fine. Based on the hard and put away wet, I think it's reasonable to put a new set of bearings in here, especially considering how inexpensive it is. So, put this down. Actually, here's one thing that'd be nice to take off. Well, that's plugged too. All better. Man, this would be a crazy good saw to part out. Really minimal scoring on the piston. I still see machine marks in most places here, but the rings are stuck. I'll bet the rings are still good, but I need to unstick them. So let's take one of the circlips out here. It's still on the bench. I heard it. I heard it stop on the bench. Great. It's here somewhere. Here it is. Found it. Yeah, they usually go off into another dimension. Oh, no way. That piston pin is going to come out like that? It's that easy? It's going to play nice like that? That's incredible. That is incredible. Yeah. Yeah, very nice. And I'll bet this is perfect. Beautiful. Looks new. Looks new. All kinds of yucky stuff down there. So definitely we're going to want to split this. All right. A little bit. not want to lose the pawl parts. I'll leave that out for the moment. This goes back, this goes back. It's right here. Okay. Ah, here's that rubber bumper. Busted. Junk. That was this one up front. Junk. Okay. Time to remove the clutch. Definitely one of those things that is easier said than done. Actually, let's pull this off first. We need this and that. Clutch, it doesn't matter because I'm going to block it one way or another. Actually, probably better to do it now than with the piston. That way you definitely don't damage the piston. Yeah, these pieces are gold too. Can't get them. And the difference between 394 and 395 is 394 has this block piece thingy right here that actually allows the throttle cable to sit in there properly. 395, which you can get, doesn't have that. So there's really no way to retrofit. It's really hard to retrofit a 395 to a 394. You can go the other direction. You can just grind this out and voila, now you have a 395. But you really don't want to do that. Save the 394 pieces for 394s. So I can just block this like that, and then hopefully hit this with the impact. Probably not. It's probably not going to come. Nope. This is just plastic, so I'm not going to ruin anything. So, not going to come. Real problem is I don't actually have good leverage without both the bar bolts in there. Got it. Yes. Okay. Breaker bar in a 19mm socket did it. Sometimes the impact works and sometimes it don't. So this clutch actually has quite a bit of life on it. So as long as it's not froze. Stephen, you're right. But you know, to a lot of guys, especially the guys that watch me, this is hobby, you know, and hobby and guys that are out doing tree work is just completely different. Guys that are out logging or doing tree work, they look at these things as tools, and it's not hobby, it's work, and they got to get every ounce of work from them. And then if it doesn't work, you toss it to the side and then try something else. To you and me, that's absurd, but it's the way those guys live, you know. What time is it? 7:23. It feels later than that. I'm going to see if I can get this thing apart here. If I can get this split, and then we'll call it a night, because I got to do some chilling out tonight. Haven't worked on me. Husqvarna is not so popular in the UK. Well, Mike, what do you like to work on? To me, these are easy to work on. I love working on the 394s. It probably is my favorite saw. I think Larry would agree. It's a really great saw, and they're easy to work on, especially when they're properly taken care of. If they're not properly taken care of, then they're kind of a pain in the neck like this, but even this isn't that bad to pull apart. Here's an amazing thing. The chain adjuster's still there. Check that out. See, can I get the pinion out first? Sometimes I can. The worm comes out, and there is a washer underneath it. No way I would trust those seals. There, it lifted a little bit. I can oil it. Once you work it, eventually it will come. There we go. Pretty clean, actually. That's not bad. It's funny, as roughed up as this saw looks, some aspects of it are not bad at all. which is interesting. Any dental patients, I smell PB Blaster? No. Remember, down there. We wear gloves, and used to be for the dentists that actually remember doing dentistry barehanded. It was different. It wasn't smelling PB Blaster, it was tasting PB Blaster. And to some of you guys that are listening, you're like, oh, gross. But, you know, barehanded dentistry was a thing for the last 5,000 years. It was only up until really like 1985 when the AIDS scare took place that it really became a thing to wear gloves. And now practically we're wearing biohazard suits, you know, when they want you to, which is just all kinds of silly, but that's still there and that's fine. All right, so let's get all these screws out. No dog on this. The top screw is missing, which is pretty typical. This top dog screw being missing happens all the time. Indeed, some spots in here you're like, wait a minute, is there a screw down there? Yep. If you forget it, and if you try to split it, you're going to mess it up. Kenneth, yeah, dentistry is my my daily thing. Just trying to mostly get stills, prefer all the ones do like echoes. Okay, Mike, you know, whatever you like, man. I've taken apart one echo, I think, and a bunch of steels and probably mostly Huskies, and I've settled on the 394 as being a favorite. What I try to do is I try not to have too many saws personally. In that I mean I have, instead of a variety of different models, I have only a few models. Because I like to only maintain parts for some of them. Did that come? I don't know. Hang on. Okay, so those are all loose. Should be able to split it now. And the ball peen hammers. The ball peen hammer, this one, I don't know. I assume this came from my grandfather, but I don't know. Just something I settled on to grab. I use it all the time. I have plenty of other hammers. Don't like using them, but okay. Really don't like using hammers. Okay, so here's my modified Chinese splitter. All I did was add a piece of 5/8 rod here, which is cheap and easy to do. Yeah, Steven, I definitely have, I have a bunch. I probably have a dozen saws at this point. Okay, I've got all the screws loose. Not going to tear this chassis up. Ready? Pop. There we go. Yep, it's coming. Does not look like the front here wants to sit. Why? That's why. I thought I did this one. Did I not do this one? Huh. Didn't do that one. I was going to really mess it up. Don't do that. There we go. Woo! Almost messed it up. Did that to a 262 XP, just kept pushing and tore it. Yeah, this is going to feel better with some new bearings. I got to take that and punch that back in. That's it. Now we have a bar bolt that's correct. It's a different generation of clean tools for us older guys. These tools make me money, so I take care of them. Larry, you know, you got a point. They cost lots of money. Might as well keep them in good shape. They last a long time. I think it's a fine attitude, Larry. I really do. It's just not reality for a lot of guys, you know? Just not their reality, anyway. So this is going to be pretty easy to clean up. And I'll pull the seals out and the bearings out later. I'm not even going to bore you guys with that. Okay, later, Larry. Have a good dinner. Actually, Larry, real quick, if you're still on, are you interested in buying some 394 parts? Because I'm gonna have like a bucket of parts here that I may never use for 394. I've got other stuff, but are you interested in buying parts? Like a bucket of randomness? He left, didn't he? He left. On this side, you got to look out for that darn Woodruff key. I'm not going to worry about it right now. It'll go right through anyway, but... Beer Ghost. Yeah, no kidding. It would be nice to put these all in the dishwasher. I would love to do that. There we go. I'll catch Larry later. He can't say no to 394 stuff. Now I got to get my ultrasonic back. Don't lose your positioning pins. Those are in there, so I'm not worried about them. Just need to pull the bearings and seals out, clean it up, be ready to put back and start getting this ready for service. Happy wife, parts of dishwasher. Well, Adirondacks, it's not like I'm not coming on tomorrow night. Well, actually, tomorrow night I might not be on. It's going to be a long day. But I'm going to be around. Going to be around. I'm not going too far. Friday, if I can, I'm going to take my new sleeve blanks and go down to my folks and see if I can do some machining and get at least the blanks done. Then the only thing I'm missing are these M14 rods, so I can have complete kits to ship. And I'm kind of hoping to hear from the machinist pretty soon. And I'm kind of hoping that he'd say, hey, I'm going to have them ready for you Friday. That would be awesome. Also, Adirondacks, keep in mind that I am, you know, the type of guy that doesn't mind holding on to 394 stuff. So, you know. Okay. Grungy stuff in the dishwasher. Put it all in the ultrasonic would be better, but I don't have my ultrasonic right now. All right. Okay, so what do you guys think? It's probably time to quit, huh? Time for me to quit. So if anybody wants any tools, they can let me know. This 394 that I'm building here, if anybody is interested in it, they can let me know, because I don't have a particular need for it myself. But, you know. Don't have a problem building it up for myself, but since I've got like 4 of them sitting around, I don't necessarily need any more. Do the tools work for Farm Boss? The short answer is probably. Mike Sam, it's good seeing you. You take care, okay? But on a Farm Boss, I think they're mainly clamshells, so you don't necessarily need the tools to put the crankcases together. You could use the tools probably to put the bearings on the crank, and then it goes in the clamshell. So you could certainly do that. But I'm going to take a guess and say that they probably have the right threads to work for that. I don't know for sure if they do or not. As long as the threads are what the other steel threads are, M10 by 1, M12 by 1, or M14 by 1, it'll work. Does that answer? I mean, yeah, I don't know. It should. All right. You were teasing me. Oh, okay. I don't know. You have to understand, man. I am like super gullible. My job kind of necessitates it, so it's just I ask people very gently to not take advantage of that too much. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go. We've had a fun evening. I've definitely gotten 394 Teardown. That's awesome. Unfortunately, I'm not super excited about that about this handpiece, but it definitely, I think it has potential. Potential. Whatever. We'll play with it, and if I can get something to work, I will let you guys know. So, other than that, any questions, anything, guys? Otherwise, I'm going to hit the hay. Gonna go relax, chill out, have a drink. I don't know. Okay, everybody have a great night. Again, I'll put my email in here in case anybody needs to email me. Just take out the ampersands, obviously. And you guys have a great one. Thanks so much, and be safe, okay, guys? Night.